friends, welcome back. It's Brendan the Therapist. And today we're going to talk about the mistakes I made during IUI. But before we get started, I want you to hit that bell, click the like and subscribe button. Make sure you tell your friends' friends, and your friends' friends' friends about this page and this channel and the information we're giving out involving infertility. So, some of the mistakes I've made during IUI are devastating to your marriage. And I have to admit, in the beginning, I wasn't proactive. I wasn't there. I had just got a promotion at work and I was involved at work. And plus, I was still going through this stage of depression at the time we were trying IUI. So I have to admit, in the beginning, I wasn't there. And that was mistake number one. And because of that mistake, it left my wife alone to deal with the process. And I didn't realize that process and how difficult and how lonely it can be and how it is. So when we started the IUI process, she went to the doctor's appointments alone. I think I attended a couple, but it was just informational. You get the information, they tell you your likelihood of getting pregnant, the average amount of times it takes to get pregnant, and um, how to best skew the results. And so we're in this office and I'm listening, and then we schedule the IUI appointment. And of course, I'm at work and I didn't take the time to be there with my wife. So she goes to the first IUI appointment alone, which in a sense left me emotionally detached. And we were also, that IUI also failed. And the hope of getting pregnant, the work that it takes leading up and the timing, I should have been more proactive in it. And I wasn't. And I can use whatever excuse I want to, but be there for your spouse no matter what. Learn the cycle, the timing, the temperatures, and try to be there for your spouse. Let her know that you're with her because it's overwhelming for everyone. And if I could have just maybe taken her temperature or checked in the app and helped monitor, things probably would have went smoother. I can't change the result, but the marital issues would have been better because she wouldn't have felt alone. Again, I left her on an island. Guys, I've talked to you about this. Do not leave your spouse on the island. So if I could teach you one thing, do not leave your spouse on the island. That's my tangent for this video. And because of that, we talked and we, like, you got to participate, you got to be involved in it. And I didn't really know what being involved meant. I thought showing up to the doctor's appointment was being involved. However, it wasn't. It wasn't enough. And I started going to more doctor's appointments. And it wasn't until the third one that I actually set in on a procedure. And I was like, wow, this is invasive. To see what goes on in the medical room is, it's not fun. It's not fun for the women. God, because it's so invasive and that exposure that's left for her, I got to experience it and I felt uncomfortable. So we did that and I started being emotionally there for her and realizing that infertility affected her just as much as it did me. And it wasn't just about me. So even though I felt depressed at the time, I had to start covering my wife. And so at some point, you're forced to come out of your own single layer unison thinking and begin to look at the picture more broadly. The other mistake I made is we were choosing donor sperm. And in choosing donor sperm, you really have to be careful in who you're choosing and was I being too picky. And then we finally chose, and in choosing, I had to be involved in that process, and that's a difficult process because it further indicates that you're not there or you're not able to actually get your wife pregnant. And that's our ultimate goal, is to get her pregnant. But that's a further example of what we're going through. So my second mistake was really just not being, I don't want to say thorough, because I was thorough when I actually picked the donors, but being reluctant and probably postponing it longer than it should because of my own feelings. The third mistake I made was really just not being there for her emotionally. I I fell back and I didn't step up to the plate, and I left her to handle her emotions alone. I had her, she was talking to friends and family, and she was able to vent that way. That, she was able to vent that way. However, it's unfair that her husband was not there to emotionally support her, and thus we didn't emotionally support each other, and we had that struggle when it came through infertility. And how do you actually get through this and get through it unscathed? And the reality is, you don't. It's learning. We're learning. We didn't know. And so if you can learn from me, be there for your wife for the appointments, help gauge the temperatures, the ovulation period, the timing of the last period, if anything has changed. Do not leave that all up to her. And the last thing is, be there emotionally. Wait, I missed the middle one. Attend the appointments. Do not leave her there to go alone. Yes, it might interfere with our work schedule. Yes, it might be something that you have to take care of that will inhibit it. But it's important. This stage is not your spouse's alone to deal with. It is both of you guys. And the last step is to actually be there for her emotionally. Let her know that you're there. Talk to each other about your feelings. It hurts. It's no other way around it. But if you have to go through this period and grieve together. Without grieving together, then things just won't happen. So those are my tips. Those are the mistakes I made through IUI. And I hope that through my mistakes, you're learning from them, you're growing from them, and it helps to keep some peace and sanity and unity within your marriage. So guys, again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at Brandon.therapist. Till next video, peace, love, and happiness.